Hello guys, how are you?
I'm Hardeep Singh. Welcome back to your own YouTube channel. IELTS updates and recent exams. For more updates related to recent IELTS exam writing test topics, listening, reading, practice test, and speaking, you got guesswork. Please, guys, participate in everyday listening and reading practice test to achieve your desired band score in your actual IELTS exam. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Press the bell icon for the upcoming notifications. Don't forget like, subscribe and share my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, IELTS updates and recent exams.
Part 1.
Hear a conversation between a salesperson of a car company and a man who wants to buy a two-wheeler. You have some time to look at questions 1 to 10. Now listen carefully and answer question 1 to 10.
Good morning. Welcome to Royal Vehicle Show House. Please take a seat. How can I help you?
Well, I'm thinking of buying a new two-wheeler and I'd like to have some advice.
Yes, sure. Do you have any particular model in your mind?
I'm interested in Ryder. I've had one before and liked it, but I haven't made up my mind.
Sure, sir. We've got different models. Right. What about the engine size?
The one that I've got is a 1-litre engine, but this time I need 1.25 litres.
Right. Well, I think the model you're looking for is the Black Cat. Here's the picture.
Oh no, have you got any other?
Yes, here is another, the Leopard.
Oh, yes. Have you got it?
Yes, I'll just get a few more details. What kind of gears do you want? Automatic or manual?
I want automatic. I've already driven manual gears.
Right. Well, now, here's the colour chart. Which one would you like to have? The black is very popular at the moment.
Yes, it is nice. I like black colour, but actually I think I prefer this metallic grey.
Yes, that's popular too.
I think I'll purchase that.
Presently, this is out of stock. You will have to book it first.
How long will it take to receive the vehicle after booking?
Minimum 3 months and maximum 6 months.
Oh, it's very long. I can't wait for so long. And what about the black one?
It's ready. The delivery is within 2 hours.
Then I would prefer the black one. What are the requirements for payment?
How would you like to pay? Cash or credit card?
First of all, let me know the total price that I've to pay.
You have to pay £5,000, a complete price, along with accessories.
Oh, it's too high for me to pay all at once. Is there any provision of instalments?
Yes, there is, but the documentation will take 3 to 4 days, and the head office will first approve it after verification. Then only will it be delivered to you.
Oh, that's not a problem for me. I'm working in a government department, so documentation is not a big deal for me.
That's fine. For that you have to fill a form.
OK, I'm ready for that.
Right, here is the form. Your name, sir?
My name is George Little.
It's Georgelitle. And your address?
It's FE 108, Government Apartment, Street number 9.
Your contact number and department in which you are working?
My contact number is 9945678 and I'm a French teacher in a government-owned school.
Some other documents are also required.
What are they?
Your salary slip and 2 proofs of identity, such as a school ID card and a PAN card number.
OK, it is easy for me. I'll deposit it tomorrow and my first instalment too.
As soon as you deposit the requirements and instalment, you will get the delivery.
Right, thank you.
Thank you.
That is the end of part 1.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 2.
You are going to hear a radio talk on Wise Spending Program. Here, the presenter will give some tips on spending money like a wise man. The talk of the day is related to spending on baby cradle. First, look at questions 11 to 18. Now listen to the recording and answer questions 11 to 18.
Hello and welcome to today's Wise Spending Programme, where we are giving some wise tips on spending money like a wise man. In today's show, we are talking about baby cradles. The cradles were displayed in a furniture fair organised by the state authorities. Let's start about different types of cradles that are for babies of up to 1 year old. There were 3 types of cradles displayed fit for the budget of every pocket. We'll feature the good points, the problems and the remarks also. The first cradle was displayed under the name Unique Baby Cradle. It has several good points to mention. Most of the mothers like the wheels, which make it easy to move. They were happy that it can be moved anywhere, even in the kitchen while working. The only problem is that it requires a large space to settle. Most of the mothers gave remarks, not suitable for small rooms. The next cradle was Happy Kids Cradle. The mothers were pleased to see the facilities. The cradle is adjustable, can be adjusted according to the space. It is easy to move as it has 4 wheels and good brakes. It can even be easily moved on stairs also. A lot of space is there to hang attractive colourful toys, which make it compatible to the name Happy Kids. Mothers marked it excellent and safe to spend on. And finally, the last display was Smile Baby Cradle. It has iron bars and found in different shapes, like Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse and other cartoon characters. They are very colourful and attractive. The negative thing is that they are very small in size and is after 3 months of the baby being born, it has to be changed. The cradle is safe in every aspect. Its attractive wheels will help to move it from one place to other. It can be folded and is easy to carry in the car also. So most of the young mothers were attracted towards it. The remarks are must-buy for newborn champs.
Now look at questions 19 to 20. As the talk continues, answer questions 19 and 20.
So this was all about the cradles displayed during the furniture fair. Mothers were mainly concerned with the safety rather than the cost and beauty. But yes, young mothers found if beauty is there with safety, it's like a cherry on the cake. They were all curious about the facilities, convenience and price also. We hope they all found things that they were searching for.
That is the end of part 2.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 3.
You will hear 3 students discussing the issue of waste deposited in space.
First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 26. Now listen and answer questions 21 to 26.
Hey, did you manage to go to the talk by Dr. Chadwick this morning, Andy?
I was there. What happened to you, Sam?
My bike had a puncture. Seriously. Anyway, Ruth, I bet you took some notes. Can you fill me in?
Sure. It was all about space junk. Really interesting, actually. I mean, I knew about how much rubbish humans are dumping here on planet Earth, but I had no idea how much junk there is flying around in space. Did you know that there are literally millions of pieces of rubbish orbiting the Earth as we speak?
Not until now, I didn't.
They reckon that around 100 tons of very small objects, like mainly dust, drops on Earth every single day.
Yes, that's what she said.
I thought space junk was all man-made. I can't believe they know so accurately how much is actually out there. Do they track and monitor it all the time?
Yeah, they do. According to the talk, there are nearly 25,000 objects larger than 10 centimetres in diameter now orbiting the Earth.
And what does all this space junk consist of? Isn't it all discarded parts of rockets that were either broken or left behind after space missions, like Apollo and all those spacecraft from years ago?
Well, yes, but not only that. All other kinds of debris that we've dumped in space too. Anything from dead satellites to loose metal screws. There are even tiny particles of paint and liquid coolant.
So who is to blame for depositing all this rubbish? Where does it come from?
Well, I knew you were going to ask me that, Sam. So, hang on. You can take some of my notes if you like.
Thanks a lot. That's really helpful.
Here, look. Over a third, 37% to be exact, comes from Russia. But other countries are close behind. Another third, well, just under actually, 29% is from America, and then 28% is from China.
Yes, but other countries, like India, are adding to the rubbish pile. And don't forget the European Space Agency also has spacecraft in orbit.
That's true. We're talking serious space junk here.
Pretty serious, I'd say. So come on, what do you think are the chances of something solid dropping from space onto our heads?
Good question. Everyone asked that. Dr. Chadwick said at least one piece of junk falls to Earth every single day. But look at it this way. Earth is a pretty big place, so actually the statistical chances of being hit
So are you saying I'm more likely to win the lottery?
Well, just think about it. 2/3 of the Earth is ocean.
That's true. But in time, almost all these pieces of rubbish will fall to Earth because the object's orbit is decreased by its gravitational pull. But the good news is that they don't cause any serious damage. You know, they can't actually survive the heat generated on re-entry. They simply burn away.
But that's not always the case. There are exceptions. Chunks of the United States UARS satellite recently fell into the Pacific Ocean.
The UARS satellite?
It was this 6-ton satellite launched by the Space Shuttle Discovery way back in 1991. So it had been up in space for 20 years, but stopped working in 2005. It weighed 5,700 kilos.
And that's about the same as a double-decker bus, apparently.
And, just check my notes. Here it is, yes. The largest of these great big chunks that fell into the sea weighed about 158 kilograms. Think of the weight of an adult gorilla, Sam, and you get the picture.
A nice soft landing, then.
Dr. Chadwick said, imagine a couple of washing machines tied together and travelling at 100 miles per hour, and you'll get an idea. Oh, and do you remember Skylab? That was another US space station, and it fell to Earth at least 3 decades ago, in 1979. It fell into the Indian Ocean and the deserts of Western Australia.
According to what I wrote down, that particular space junk weighed 100 tons. And let's not forget Mir, the Russian space station. Mir weighed 135 tons, far, far larger than UARS, and it fell to Earth in 2001. It plunged straight into the South Pacific.
All very interesting. Listen, I've got some junk of my own to sort out. My bike. That's the second puncture this week.
Come on, I'll help you fix it.
That is the end of part 3.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 4.
You will hear a man talking about tourism and the environment. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Listen carefully to the talk and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good morning, everyone. Let's make a start. Now, over the last few weeks, we've looked at some key areas in the travel and tourism module. We've already charted the origins and development of tourism, and we've also looked at the negative effects of tourism on both local communities and the environment. So, in this lecture, we're going to focus on ways in which tourists can actually benefit local people and natural areas if they travel responsibly. And this kind of travel is known as ecotourism. Now, there's no one definition of ecotourism. In fact, it can be interpreted in a number of different ways. This means it represents different things to different people. And sometimes people misunderstand ecotourism altogether. They think of it as just spending time in nature or natural areas. However, the truth is far more complex. In essence, it aims to minimize the negative impacts of tourism that we looked at earlier on in the course. Problems such as litter and water pollution, crime and so on, and, at the same time, to encourage travellers to have a positive impact on the places they visit. Now, there are many other words to describe a similar idea to ecotourism. In fact, the terms alternative tourism, sustainable tourism, or responsible tourism are often used to mean the same thing. But in fact, although the main ideas behind them are similar, there are small differences. And let's briefly look at these now. Alternative tourism is any kind of tourism that is not mass tourism. And by mass tourism, we mean hundreds, if not thousands of people going on, for example, their 2 weeks a year beach holidays or traditional sightseeing tours. Alternative tourism includes travel such as backpacking and adventure holidays. And the term alternative also includes ecotourism, which is what we are mainly focusing on today. Now, what about sustainable tourism? Sustainable tourism has the same ideals as ecotourism, but it isn't limited to natural areas. So, you can have a sustainable tourist experience in a city or a town. And then we have responsible tourism. What does that mean exactly? Now, basically, this involves acting responsibly and respectfully as a guest when we travel overseas. And what do we mean by respectful? Well, being respectful might involve asking permission to take photographs, or go into someone's home observing some of the customs of the local community, such as dress, or making an effort to learn the language. Now, ecotourism can be passive or active. So, what do we mean by passive tourism? Well, let's think of some specific examples. A passive tourist might buy their holiday package from a company that donate part of their profits to local charities. Or a passive tourist might book environmentally friendly accommodation. This means choosing to stay in a hotel which may use solar power as a source of energy, or changes sheets and towels for their guests less frequently. Now, active ecotourism's a way for people to enjoy everything that nature has to offer, and at the same time enable them to leave a positive mark on the environment. Now, this kind of ecotourist is sometimes referred to as a voluntourist. That's a combination of volunteer and tourist. You get the idea. Now, voluntourists prefer to experience a new place in an active way. And this doesn't mean sitting in a tourist bus or listening to a pre-recorded guide. Basically, they want to physically connect with the place they're visiting, and this includes connecting with humans and animals. Now, their approach to travel can make a real difference and can really benefit the places and the communities they choose to visit. Voluntourists often help local people construct and repair buildings, or it could mean being willing to help a community with nature conservation. So let's think of some specific examples of this kind of work in action. Now, voluntourists have helped local communities to plant hundreds of trees and installed identifying signs in the rainforests of Costa Rica. They've also helped with sustainable food production in Cuba, and in Jamaica, they've been involved in the cleaning up of local rivers. And in Thailand, they've worked on building ecologically sustainable reforested habitats. Now, some of the work that voluntourists do also involves looking after endangered animals, like the Giant Panda Project in Japan, or the Animal Sanctuary Project in Ecuador. Now, this work doesn't just involve interacting with wildlife, but involves educating local people about the need to protect wildlife. Now, before we explore wildlife tourism in more detail, does anyone have any questions?
That is the end of part 4.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
So guys, don't forget like, subscribe and share my YouTube channel and my Facebook page. IELTS updates and recent exams. For more updates related to recent IELTS exam writing as topics, listening, reading, practice test and speaking, you got guesswork. Please guys, participate in everyday new IELTS listening and reading practice tests to achieve your desired band score in your actual IELTS exam. For more IELTS material, visit my official website www.ieltsupdatesandrecentexams.com. The link is given below in the description. If you need PDF files of latest IELTS material, then please join my Telegram channel. So guys, please write your score below the comment section. Again, thanks for listening. God bless you all guys. Stay tuned, stay safe.